I'm 60 and I battled with gadgets. Now, when I say battled, I don't mean the casual, friendly kind of using a phone or a computer. No, I mean locked in, gladiatorial combat between me and a series of increasingly confusing devices that seem designed specifically to test the patience and sanity of a woman who grew up in an analog world. After a solid hour of clicks, swipes, and mild screaming, I finally surrendered, but not without providing a comedy show worthy of the ages. It all began one ordinary morning when I decided enough was enough. I would no longer be a gadget dinosaur stuck in the prehistoric era of rotary phones and cassette tapes. I was going to learn, adapt, and conquer the realm of modern technology. Armed with a brand new smartphone, a tablet, and the modest confidence that comes from not quite knowing what you're doing, but being determined anyway, I dove in headfirst. My first opponent was my smartphone, a sleek, shiny gadget that promised to make my life easier, but instead seemed to speak a language I hadn't signed up to learn. I wanted to do simple things: make a call, send a text, maybe check the weather. Simple, right? Wrong. I started with making a call. Press this green button, I told myself, recalling a vague memory of old phones. After numerous accidental calls to telemarketers, my husband's office, and even to a random pizza place, I finally connected, not with a person, but with my own voicemail. That was humiliation number 1. Next, I bravely tackled text messaging. The keypad was tiny, and the autocorrect insisted on changing my carefully typed words into nonsense. "I'm on my way" mysteriously became "I'm on a whale," which, as you can imagine, caused a brief but hilarious misunderstanding with my daughter. When I finally managed to send a proper, well, almost proper, text, I moved on to the camera. I wanted to capture the blooming flowers in my garden. It seemed easy enough, but instead of a photo of tulips, I ended up with a gallery full of blurry images of my finger, ceiling fans, and my own forehead. This went on for several minutes, during which my cat decided to walk right across the lens, leaving an artistic smudge masterpiece. Then, determined to appear truly modern, I opened the tablet. The first mission: downloading a weather app. Simple, right? Again, wrong. You'd think tapping install would be straightforward. Not for me. I tapped many buttons in quick succession, and my tablet gleefully downloaded half a dozen apps I didn't want, including one called Talking Cat Translator, and another mysterious app that played strange noises every time I touched the screen. I was jumping every 5 seconds, convinced the tablet was haunted. Trying to undo all the accidental downloads was another ordeal. The uninstall button was hidden in a menu so deeply buried it might as well have been in Narnia. After getting lost in settings that looked like hieroglyphics and pressing buttons that took me to places I couldn't pronounce, I finally managed to clean most of the clutter, though I'm convinced a ghost app remains to haunt me forever. At some point, my attempts to figure out touch gestures led to me accidentally video calling a neighbor. She answered looking bewildered, and I'm pretty sure I scared her by cycling through every camera filter imaginable, including one that made me look like a unicorn. I apologized profusely as the phone vibrated in my hands, flipping the screen rapidly, turning my face upside down, sideways, and sometimes into a giant floating eye. Meanwhile, my husband was watching from the couch, thoroughly entertained. "Want me to help?" he offered, barely able to keep a straight face. "No, I've got this under control," I declared through gritted teeth. But by hour 1 and 45 minutes, I was exhausted, overwhelmed, and defeated. The gadgets had bested me fair and square. I sat back with a sigh, tapped the screen one final time, and muttered, "You win." Despite the frustration, I couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity of it all. The gadgets weren't so much tools as they were pranksters, cleverly designed to make me feel like I'd stumbled into a puzzle room with missing pieces. But here's the thing. I didn't quit. Nope. I might have surrendered that day, but I'm gearing up for round 2. Next time, I'll bring reinforcements. My grandchildren, who still think it's hilarious that Grandma can't figure out how to set the alarm. For now, I wear my gadget combat as a badge of honor, and I'm 100% certain that one day I'll tame these digital dragons. Until then, I'm content to let my phone prank me, my tablet confuse me, and my cat continue her life as the true queen of technology. Because at 60, every mistake is just another funny story waiting to happen. And trust me, I have enough of those to last a lifetime. I'm 60 and I battled with gadgets. Now, I didn't expect the world of technology to be easy, but I'd hoped for at least a truce. Instead, it turned into a full-on war zone. My phone, tablet, and I were locked in a battle of wills that lasted a grueling hour, ending with me waving a white flag, or in my case, a very confused sigh. It started when my granddaughter convinced me to get a smartphone. "It'll change your life, Grandma," she said. I believed her, naively picturing me clicking and swiping with grace and efficiency. What I didn't expect was that this little device came with the charm of a rebellious teenager, prone to shutting down, freezing, or sending random messages on its own. My first challenge was making a simple phone call. How hard could it be? I tapped the screen, accidentally opened the calculator, dialed a pizza place instead of my daughter, and managed to hit the emergency call button 3 times in 10 minutes. The phone seemed to taunt me. Every time I thought I'd conquered one step, another glitch appeared. Next came texting. The autocorrect was determined to spice up my messages. "See you soon" became "see you spoon," sending my friends into fits of laughter and confusing more than one recipient. Attempts to use emojis led me to send a string of strange icons, including one conspiracy theory symbol that left my family wondering if I'd been hacked. Hoping for reprieve, I switched to my tablet. The bigger screen I thought might be easier. I underestimated the tablet's capabilities. It did everything, including subscribing me to mystery channels I didn't want and sending vacation photos to my boss. Somehow, fingers that worked fine on a keyboard were hopelessly clumsy on a touchscreen. One memorable moment was when I attempted to launch a video call. I meant to chat with my brother, but instead triggered a filter that made my face look like a cartoon dog. My brother burst into laughter, and my cat stared like their owner had gone completely bonkers. This became a running gag with the family, who now ask for a cartoon grandma call on special occasions. After repeated and often noisy struggles, loudly cursing in frustration, dropping devices, and asking every passing family member for help, I realized that the technology wove its own labyrinth. The more I fought, the more tangled I became. At one point, I accidentally recorded a video of my foot, my chin, and ceiling fans that took up most of the storage. My smartphone seemed to mock me, sending notifications about running out of memory while I fumbled to delete what I thought were duplicate photos, but ended up erasing my calendar instead. Panic ensued. The battle climaxed when I decided to set up a new app. I clicked accept so many times, agreeing to terms I never read and don't fully understand, only to find the app was now in a different language, which I definitely don't speak. I tried resetting it but ended up locking myself out of the tablet for 15 minutes. By the end of the hour, I was exhausted, humbled, but laughing at my own persistence. I surrendered to my gadgets, admitting defeat with a chuckle. My husband, who had been watching from a safe distance, applauded my efforts and offered to give me a crash course. Despite my loss, the experience bonded me with my devices in a strange way. They're tricky, sure, but I'm learning, one hilarious mishap at a time. At 60, every battle won or lost comes with a story, and this one will have me laughing for years. So yes, I battled gadgets for an hour and surrendered, but I woke up the next day ready to try again. Because this digital world may be confusing, but it's mine to conquer, one stumble, poke, and accidental tap at a time,